to the Slate Podcast, where we talk about movies, music, and media. I'm Daryl, and I'm here with George.
Yo!
And Jeff.
I'm here too.
And we're the Slate Podcast. We have a very special episode today. We're talking super special about Stranger Things.
This episode, the way, it's volume 1.
Yes,
because it's divided into 2 volumes.
True. Yes, volume 1. 7 episodes.
Perfect segue, Jeff. Please and thank you.
So we're gonna talk about Stranger Things. It's been over 3 years since the last season.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a second. But first, let's do our first segment. PR. What's your PR this week? And PR just means personal recommendation, kind of just so we can talk about what we're reading, watching, listening to. So, Jeff, you have a PR this week?
Yes. I want to follow up with that Spider-Man 2099 book, the next issue. Issue number 1, because the previous issue was what they call Alpha. I guess they do that sometimes. But this issue is all about the origin for the Winter Soldier from 2099. Oh my gosh, dude. She just became one of my favorite characters. The whole issue is pretty much her origin. It's pretty nice. It's a female Winter Soldier. It's they were built years later, it's 2099, and she was the last survivor, and they explain her origin, and it's pretty badass, dude. It's pretty nice. And then at the end, they follow up with and she's gonna help with the mission for the book. So yeah, I would recommend picking that up.
Does she have a metal arm?
She does. And okay, I guess spoilers. I'll say this. Not in the beginning. Part of the origin is that she fights an alternate version of Crossbones who has the arm, and she freaking cuts it from him, and because he cut her arm first, so she's already missing a limb, and then at the end she takes the arm, which used to belong to Bucky Barnes. He stole it from him, so now she's wearing what used to be Bucky's metal arm. Now belongs to her.
That's so metal.
It's so good, bro. The action in that book is so good. Her origin is so cool, man. So yeah, I would recommend.
What about you, George? You got anything?
Nothing particularly interesting, but lately I've been, because I guess for years, my friends in the anime community have been recommending me to watch Attack on Titan, right? And it's actually pretty famous and culturally. So, but I've been avoiding it because I'm why bother? I guess I avoid popular things.
You do on purpose.
I do on purpose. But the thing is, I don't know what triggered me, but one of my friends posted something about the season 4 coming out or it's out. I don't know if it's out yet. And then I commented, I was like, "Is this actually good?" And then they were like, "Yes, it's great. I love it, blah, blah, blah." And they hyped it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. And if it's not good, then we're not friends anymore. That's literally what I said. So lately I've been in season 1 of Attack on Titan. And so far, pretty legit. I'm audibly responding to it. I'm getting excited for things. And, it's anime. So there's things in it that I'm it's a little overzealous. But, it's anime, whatever.
I hear people at my job talking about it. Apparently it's really good.
Yeah, to summarize it, it's basically I guess I don't really actually know why, but humanity has been cut down significantly by these things called Titans, and they're just basically giant humans that are cannibalistic and they feed on humans. And so they built a fortress retaining 3 walls within, and that's where the rest of humanity has resided. And they have certain soldiers that they trained in order to take down Titans. And so the story is about how they're going to push back, basically, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty action packed and a lot of cool characters. A lot of people making dumb decisions. I'm like, just kill me. um,
But it's dope. I like it. Yeah.
Is it like? Do you find it still like over? Is it overrated, or do you feel like it? Because a lot of good shows kind of start slow. I feel like, and then they ramp up, and plus the expectations. Like I heard of that, and I'm not into anime, and I heard about that show.
I I wouldn't say it's overrated yet because the thing is, I am actually like invested in it, and I think what interested me most was that it's not like a lot of typical Japanese animes, because nobody's like let's say for example like women, they're not just there to be like hot and just for the main character to have a love interest. Like they're actually useful. There's actually good chemistry among people, and the action is solid, and there's a story that I'm invested in, that I'm following throughout. And there's things that I'm like, okay, this is basically what anime is. But other than that, so far I'm like, yeah, this is good. I see why it's good, and I'm pretty sure it gets better.
All right, so for my PR this week, I have I talked about this before, but I'm reading right now Injustice. I didn't realize how big of a story this was gonna be. George, you recommended it to me, or just to us, and I just randomly picked it up. But it's huge. It's a 5-year journey. There's so much. So I just finished year 1. Amazing. I thought it was fantastic. And I just picked up volume 1 of year 2, and it's also pretty awesome. Again, quick summary of kind of what it's about. Superman has gone, kind of crazy, and he wants to take over the world. He wants to protect the world. So just a little bit of a spoiler alert, but not that much. So he starts with Lois is pregnant, and then the Joker comes in and kills her, just straight up kills her. So her and she was pregnant, so 2 people. And Superman sees that and he goes kind of crazy and he blames Batman because Batman hasn't, it's the Joker. So it's Batman Joker, and somehow he feels like he should have been dead a long time. Like, why do we let these people who are criminals and kill people, why do we still allow them to live? Like, they should be dead because they just end up killing more people. So he just says, hey, I'm gonna take over the world. I'm gonna stop wars. I'm gonna stop violence in the world. And if people don't like
ceasefire.
Yeah, he goes a whole ceasefire on the whole world. He starts, I guess, with the U.S. And he's like going to governments, and he's like stopping wars and taking, he's just taking over the governments, and they don't like it. They're like, hey, we can, we don't need you. And they're like, no, you gotta stop. You gotta stop fighting. That's it. This is over. If there's a war going on, we're not just gonna sit back and let them kill each other. No, like he's gonna go in with the Justice League, with all of them, and start just, I guess, killing the enemies.
For some reason now, I just remember that I did watch the animated movie. So now I know what happens. If it's close to the comic, I guess.
And I don't know. I don't know how they can. I saw that animated movie. It's like an hour and 18 minutes. I mean, I'm halfway through year 2, and so much happens. I don't know how you can squeeze that into an hour. Like, there's so much.
I could rant on that movie for a while because it's like with Harry Potter, like all these fat books with all this lore and everything stuffed into a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. And
this is like 5 years of events happening in the whole DC universe, and they stuff it into.
I mean, they had to
less than 2-hour movie.
I mean, they had to like skip so much and just cut so much stuff out because there's so much that happens. And I gotta tell you, just a quick spoiler: people die at the end of things. Like at the end of year 1, somebody dies. Halfway through year 2, someone else dies. and it's just like little story arcs and things that are happening. It's like you can't put that in a movie. I get like they might like put the important stuff in there, but if you're gonna reduce it to like a year, imagine, I guess it would be more like taking the whole five Harry Potter movies, like the actual movies, and just cut it down to an hour. You would have to cut out so much.
No.
Absolutely not. Oh my gosh. And then like the way it ends, because the way the movie ends kind of tries to correlate with how the games end. Like they're even stuffing the games into that movie. And I'm just like, when I saw it, I was like, what's happening? What are you doing?
It probably makes no sense. There's so much stuff that you have to like build character development that you have to stop and like let that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's probably a mess. But Injustice book, really good. And then I was gonna say real quick, just as another thing that I'm watching, Game of Thrones. Gotta throw that in there. I'm halfway through season 2. Right, never too late. I know that Game of Thrones ended a long time ago, and somehow I never.
Do you know what happens at the end, Dario? Like, you know that was a big deal when it ended, right?
I know, and I know.
Apparently,
people,
not a good note.
I mean, listen, I spoke to somebody who was a fan and watched it till the end, and he was like, it's not that bad. It's just, it was unexpected, and I guess people did not like how it ended. But apparently it's not that bad. It's just like, I guess people were expecting the world, and then when it was just like an ending, people are not happy about that.
Bro, fandoms need to chill with their expectations. And I say that as someone that has high expectations when watching Marvel movies. But I'm noticing that in comics too. Like, I watch reviews and stuff, and people give bad reviews to things because it didn't go how I thought or I expected. Yes, because drop your expectations and just enjoy whatever media you're watching or reading, So,
Right.
And that's hard though.
Stop it.
It's harder for maybe comic books because they know what happens in the comics, and how somebody's supposed to be or act.
Oh no, I meant like actual comics, like people reading comics right now, like new stuff. Like, I was watching reviews for like Spider-Man, the other book that I'm reading, and all I see is, well, I was expecting this and this. Well, drop your expectations and just enjoy whatever media you're about to consume.
Yeah. I wish the past you could hear you now when we're going to see Doctor Strange.
No, look, I said it in the podcast. I drop my expectations. I don't let that ruin my experience.
I mean, you still had expectations though. You were expecting. You were like,
yes,
this is gonna happen.
And it's fun, to theorize. But I drop it at the door. I don't go in the theater with
that's
that.
a healthy mindset. I mean, if you really have expectations, but you're still able to just like, hey, I'm gonna enjoy whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm paying money for this. Why would I ruin it?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's the expectations for when J.J. Abrams made Force Awakens and then Rian Johnson made the Last Jedi. Like, he took our expectations and did it his own way, like turned it on a dime his own way. And I think that's kind of what happened with this, with the Game of Thrones finale. Not like with different directors or something. I think it's just like it didn't go the way people thought. Like same thing, expectations. And it's just like it's not a terrible thing to do.
But it kind of seems like they are. I mean, thank you for bringing it back to Game of Thrones. I feel like that's what Game of Thrones did. Is like their whole thing. People know about Game of Thrones. Like, I never seen Game of Thrones, and I knew about them like killing main characters. That was the whole thing. Like, people would always be surprised at who they kill off because they would take like main characters and just kill them off. And then people were like, well, no one's safe, and that's kind of cool because you don't know what to expect. And that kind of actually ties to one of my thoughts about Stranger Things, and we'll get to that. Basically, I'll just say real quick, no one dies. I mean, if you look at the main characters from season 1, they're all still alive. So it's kind of like when you see somebody in danger, you're like, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. So Game of Thrones, I feel like it's like that. I mean, season 1 ends with somebody being killed, which I actually knew about because I was still expecting it, but I didn't know exactly how or what was gonna happen. Like, I knew who died. Like, there's a big death at the end of season 1, and I had seen it before because I seen that clip of that character dying, but I didn't know when it was gonna happen. I didn't know it was at the end of season 2, season 3, season 4. Like I had no idea when it was coming. But then as soon as he walked into the situation, I was like, oh, this is it. This is when he dies, when he actually dies. And then it happened. So it wasn't that big of a shock for me, but it was still kind of a surprise because I didn't know how soon he was gonna die off, and he was like literally the main character kind of in season 1, and he died. But after that, I mean, I'm halfway through season 2, and still like not that many main characters have died yet. I mean, a lot of people die in that show, but I haven't seen that many main characters die.
I know that Emilia Clarke's is in that show.
Yeah.
That's great, Jeff.
She is in that show. I can tell you that.
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
I've seen clips.
Is she an interesting character?
You've seen clips. I'm sure. I think I can guess which clips you've seen, Jeff.
Yeah.
The dialogue is amazing.
I mean,
Sure.
listen, it is. I will say this. Thanks for bringing that up, Jeff. There is a lot of nudity. There's a lot of nudity in this show.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I've heard that too.
Like a lot.
Wait, why does that correlate with Emilia Clarke?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess you'll see eventually. But basically, this show is not for kids. I mean, it is not for kids. I mean, the killing, the nudity.
Yeah, there's one scene that happens like later on in a couple seasons, I think, that traumatized me actually, because when it happened, the internet was on fire. When it happened, it's like, oh my gosh, this. You'll see it. You'll know when you see it, Dario, because it'll probably traumatize you too. But I remember people were crazy about it, and then I was like, okay, what's so crazy about like this? What's the hype, you know? So I looked it up. I looked up the scene, and God, like it's burned in my head. I will never forget it. Like a lot of people die in one scene, but the way they die is
I know
terrible.
Is it the Red Wedding or something like that?
I've heard about that too.
I've heard about it. Don't tell me anything.
Yeah.
All I know is
I'm not
a Red Wedding.
Say anything, but
I remember I was like in high school, and I was at my job. I was a receptionist at the time, so I just went on the computer real quick, and I was like, "What's the hype?" And then, man, I watched that scene all the way through, and I was just like sitting there like this with my face covered. I was like, "Oh my god, that's terrible." Yeah, I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy.
No, this show is cruel. I mean, I have seen this show. He has already done a few, like, just killed a baby, just like a 1-year-old baby, just killed him. Just that. And then there's this little kid that he's like 10 or 12, and this guard just kills him. Just straight up, like, put a knife in his neck, like, a sword, right in his neck. Like, he was, like, pretending like he was going to help him, because he's like, I broke my leg, carry me. He was one of the guards. He's like, carry me, you need to carry. I mean, they're capturing them, right? And they're killing other kids, because they're looking for one person. And then this kid, they're like, okay, whoever's alive, just take him in, as prisoners. And this one kid, he's like, my leg is broken, you need to carry me. And the guard is like, really, I need to carry you. Okay, come on. And he puts his hand out, and when he's gonna, like, thinking he's gonna he just, like, puts the knife right in his neck. And then he's like, this kid said, carry me, please. And I'm like, oh wow, this show just kills kids, just like that.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Poor guy.
No one's safe. No one's safe. But you know what? That makes for a good like, it sets the bar high, big time. So
I mean, it is, but there's a lot of death. Like, the death count, I can't even imagine. I mean, I'm halfway through, and so many people have died. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, no one is safe. Like, literally. Like, it's like, I like imagine living in that time, and, like, I'm glad things don't work like that.
I'll just stay home. God, there's like people killing each other outside, and dragons flying around.
Literally.
I don't want this.
Dragons? What are you talking about?
Spoilers, but
no, I'm just kidding.
Nothing happens. Don't worry.
I'm just kidding. I'm kind of already there, and I have seen that clip. It's with Emilia Clarke. She's the mother of dragons. If you haven't seen Game of Thrones, get into it.
She's not naked, by the way, Jeff. Just so you know.
Not in that scene.
Dario's talking about.
Not in that scene.
Darn.
Not in that scene, at least.
Right.
I watch for the plot.
Yeah.
Right. Sure you do.
The plot.
We should move on because we spent a little
Very
too much time on that topic.
Anyways, that's another pop culture thing that I avoid. So there you go.
So talking about that, let's move on to Stranger Things, season 4, volume 1.
We made it, and actually our last podcast together in person was about Stranger Things season 4 trailer.
Let's see if our opinions have changed. I already can tell that one of my opinions haven't changed.
Remembering what we said, there are some things that we were actually right about, and then there's a lot of things that we were wrong about.
Right. So let's start, I guess, with the non-spoiler review.
Oh yeah, let's do a quick rundown of non-spoilers. I'm looking at the writers' credits here, and I see a bunch of people, including the Duffer brothers, I guess. Shout out to them, bro, for crafting this far into the show, season 4, and still crafting a story that's keeps you literally holding your breath. Like one episode for me. Like, shout out to them, dude. They killed it so far. And I'm excited now. I'm super excited for the last 2 episodes. I wasn't really excited for this season, but now that I'm on board, like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I like where they're going with it. Yeah. Those are my thoughts. I want to speak spoilers. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Jeff likes it.
Yeah. I think that's what I gathered from it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, George.
No, it's the worst season ever. No, I'm just
kidding.
Shut up.
Read the room. No, I kind of agree. It's like writing wise, it's the best season for me. Which is funny because I actually wasn't going to watch this until like volume 2 came out, and also because I hardly remembered anything that happened in the last 3 seasons, basically. So before watching this, I had to do like a big recap. I watched a bunch of videos just to jog my memory, and going into it, it is. I was like I literally spent all day yesterday, like I was like, well, here we go. Let me just pop out some Oreos and some milk, and yeah, we're gonna be here for literally 7 hours. so yeah, it was fun. I liked it. A lot of good stuff.
Okay, George likes it as well. I like it.
I didn't expect.
Okay, spoilers time.
No. I like it. I like it a lot. I thought it was 7 out of 10. Like I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. I honestly expected more. I was excited about it. And I was expecting craziness, I guess. I don't know what I was expecting. But it was good enough. It was good enough. Good, not great. I kind of feel like the same that I did with Doctor Strange. Okay.
I was just about to say, I'm like 7.5 out of 10, which is what I gave Doctor Strange.
Yeah. I feel like it was good enough to keep me entertained to watch the whole thing, but it didn't wow me. Like story time. I mean, I'm gonna say though, directing, like you guys said, well made. Like the first episode, you can tell they're putting more money into the show, obviously because it's so popular.
Oh,
but
big time.
Boy, like that first couple episodes, like you can tell, like they'll spend a lot of money on it. Like there were some one shots, like when they get to school on that first episode, and then there's that like huge one shot. They go from like the car to all the kids walking to Max getting out of the bus. Like you can tell there, and like I don't know, they spend like the first few episodes like really like, look, this is 80s. They're in the 80s, and look at all these cars and all these kids wearing 80s stuff.
Look at all this 80s stuff.
Yeah, and then obviously, and they always do that, and then it kind of goes down more to story wise, and they kind of leave the 80s behind a little bit, other than like little stuff on the background things. But it was well made. Like the directors did a fantastic job. The way it's shot, I think the VFX, they're going all out in this season.
No, that's definitely where they're putting their money at.
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah, yep. So, and the way it was shot, I mean, I think it's well made. It's a very, very well made show, and the actors in it are great, like always. But then the storyline keeps me entertained enough to say it's good, but not fantastic. I don't know. Not like season one. To me, season one is still gonna be the best.
Mm.
I think I can also agree with that. But we got to see how this season finishes.
Right, and also I wanted to mention real quick. I heard that the reason why they cut it into 2 volumes. Well, I think there's 2 reasons. One is because they need, I guess, another month or so to work on the finale. I guess they're not quite done. They must be like still editing or putting effects into it, and also it could be because of the Emmys, because there's a cutoff line, and so they can be like, they put the first half out, and it can, what is it called? It can be considered for like guess this year's Emmys, and then the second half can be considered for the second year's Emmy, so they can for next year's Emmy. So it's like half and half, so they're able to like win an Emmy this year and win an Emmy next year.
I think there's a third reason too. I think maybe Netflix might finally change their model. They're looking at The Boys and Disney Plus, how they do weekly. They don't put it all at one, because, and I've heard this in a lot of shows and podcasts, people talk about this. That's what keeps the conversation going when your show comes out every week and you don't drop it at once. It makes the conversation last longer. But when you put your show all at once, like Netflix does, the conversation's going to last maybe a week or two and everybody forgets. So maybe they're experimenting with this. Like, let's see what happens if we don't just put it all at one, you know? And who knows, maybe they'll change their motto soon. Like The Boys or Disney Plus.
Maybe. I think there's benefits to both, because like put it all at once, maybe for me halfway through or a little towards the end I would have lost interest, and like instead of waiting a week I could have forgotten about it and then not watched the last few episodes. And I'll tell I'll give out the reason why I kind of lost interest towards the end. But maybe dropping it all at once, since it's right there and I'm still on my mind, like I kept watching it. So
yeah.
that's the reason. But you're right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we watched, what was that show? With Adam Scott.
Severance.
Severance. Sorry, we watched Severance.
the show you recommended.
Yes, it's that show. We watched it week to week, and that was an intense show. But I'll give you another example. I was watching the morning show on Apple TV, and I honestly lost interest. I watched like the first few episodes, and I didn't want to wait a week, and I just kind of stopped watching it, and I haven't finished it.
Is that with Jennifer Aniston?
Yep, Jennifer Aniston and
Witherspoon,
Michael Scott. Anyway, let's get into spoilers. Let's break it down. Everybody dies, and I hate that.
Everybody, literally all the side characters, all the main characters. And
Dead.
matter of fact, this is the finale. There's no actual volume 2 coming out.
That was the finale. Or maybe it'll just be like the police trying to find,
yeah.
what's the bad guy's name?
The police.
Vecna. Yes.
Vecna.
The police will find
Actually,
Vecna.
it was Mephisto.
And then they die too.
It was Mephisto.
I knew it from the get-go.
Yeah. No one dies. And I guess that's one of my main concerns.
I agree. I agree with you. Well, I have other things, but Dario, please explain.
So
also remember that it hasn't ended. The season hasn't ended.
That is true, and we kind of
But you
left
can
it.
still kill somebody off. You can still do
Listen,
it.
Nancy, she's on the trans. I mean, she could be killed where she is, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean,
Do it, cowards.
Do it, you cowards. I don't think
Rip
it's
her in
gonna
half.
happen. I don't think she's gonna be dead just because she's a main character, and that's the problem.
And also,
with,
yeah. I was gonna say she basically has been like spearheading most of the show.
Yeah, and they're
Her and
obviously
Max.
setting up like some sort of romance with her and Steve again, and it's like they're not gonna just kill her and leave that story like open ended, Like so she has armor. That's why people call it like plot armor. So I have no worries for her. I think even though she's in the trance where she could be killed, but there's two reasons. One, he's killing people to open gates, and she's like right under a gate, so it wouldn't make sense for him to kill her there. Because then why would you kill her? Like if he's killing people to open gates, why would he do it right there? She's already under a gate, so it would make sense to kill her right there. And plus, all the kids are right there, and the thing with the music, they can just put music in her ear and get her out. And then she's a main character.
Watch Volume 2. They open with her dying straight up.
I would hope so.
That's it.
It would surprise me, but I have no faith that that's gonna happen. So, if I'm right, it's like I'm just gonna be like, see, I knew it. Like that's the thing when you just protect your characters and no one's in real danger. I'm almost like I'm so sure that she's not gonna die, and it takes like the thriller suspense aspect of it, you know. Right. And the same thing with Max. What do you think about Max? Like, did you guys think she was gonna die or what?
Well, I thought we were talking about negatives first, so I was gonna say my negative. Max is not a negative for me.
Oh no. Not in general. I'm saying like thinking that she was gonna die. I thought the actress is one of the best parts of the show. Yes. I really like her in the show.
Yeah, so that was the scene. That's been my favorite moment so far. Where that whole segment where we thought she was gone, like I was literally holding my breath. Like I thought, oh, that's it. There goes Max.
Bro,
like, she was a good character.
To be positive for a second, I was yelling. I was like I was holding my pillow, and I was like, "Let's go, get out of there!" Like it was really intense. That's my favorite moment too.
Yeah.
But go on, Jeff.
Yeah, the fact that we started with her, like we spent some time with her, so for them just to take her like that would have been devastating. But yeah, I love that moment. But I guess one negative for me would be the only negative really pretty much is what's her name, Robin. Every time she speaks, it's like that's not funny, bro.
Really?
I couldn't.
Like
I
guess okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're trying to make her like the comedic relief, but it's like they're just taking all the comedy that people complain from the MCU and they put it into her. Like it's that type of comedy that I hear. Like to me, the comedy relief, the one that makes me laugh a lot is Dustin. Like he makes me laugh all the time, but I don't know. I'm not trying to hate on the character, but the little jokes is like, ugh. Stop.
Wow, I did not think about that at all.
Well, I'd say I maybe I like 5% agree with you because the thing is it would be that case for me if she wasn't useful, but she actually is like I think every side character here has a use, like a real
no, I didn't mean she's not useful. I just mean
I'm saying
they're trying to make her like comedic. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying like it would be worse for me if she didn't, like if she was just there to be funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the same time, I'm like, well, it doesn't nothing like that has really bugged me. There's been moments where I'm like, bro, you are talking too much, right? But other than that, like nothing like that has taken me out of it. But like just like you, Dustin is the funniest one in the show.
Yeah, I agree. I thought she was fine. Honestly, I didn't think she was not funny or. She's very different from what I remember her in the last season. I feel like they just gave her a complete like makeover. I did not think she was that much of a tomboy or whatever, or that like trying to be funny. But I don't know, her character didn't bother me. It didn't bother me at all.
Well, it's also, I guess, I don't know for sure. I don't remember, but like the last season, she was mostly in the ice cream place. Yeah, so it's like we really didn't get to see her like out, hanging out with everybody. So I think it's cool that she's maybe it's a change of pace. Like they were like, okay, let's see her in real life. Let's see how acts with friends, and she's more open with these people. And there's even a scene where
her and Nancy are talking like, "Are we friends?" And then she's like, "Yeah, I guess so." And we've seen that. We see that growth.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
that's true. Anything else? Any other negative? I have a negative. Well, first of all, the show is like split into what, 4 different stories. We got the people in California, Mike, Mike, what's his name? Will, John, Jonathan, the weird dude.
Same thing. Yeah.
The weird dude, just like the California crew, right? And then we got, and then 11. She goes to a study, to get her powers back. We got the people at Hawkins, the kids. I think that's probably the best group. And then you got the people in Russia, going
Joyce.
to save Hopper. Yeah, Joyce and all that. I guess out of those storylines, I felt like towards the beginning they were all really good. I was really digging every single story arc, and then towards the end, when 11 goes to, what do you call that? The lab or something to train to get
The
her
lab?
powers back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not interested in that part at all.
Really?
Yeah, every time they cut back to that, I was like, I almost felt like I wanted to flash forward, like that whole training and all those flashbacks that we're doing. At the beginning of that, it was kind of good, but then it felt too long for me. And every time the most interesting was the people from Hawkins, with Dustin and all of them.
Yeah.
Like that group was really good. And then I was even liking the California guys. And I was kind of like really interested in seeing how they would get Hopper out, like going, in the plane and getting betrayed with Yuri. That was all really like cool and kind of funny with that guy. But then every time they would come back to 11, I was like, okay, I get it. They're I didn't understand. Towards the end, I understood why they were going back because of that big reveal. But like every time they would go, it's like, yeah, she's training and she's sad and she's being bullied again. That was another negative I didn't like. Like I like the bullying, but it got to the point that I was like, oh no, like she's a poor girl. I mean, I did not like her being bullied that much. Like it was too much. So I guess to wrap up my negatives, the whole going back to her every time to the training, it got boring for me. And then her being bullied that much, and then Hopper being tortured that much. Like all I kept thinking was like he just saved the world in that season, and then we come back and he's been like tortured, like really tortured, and like just having the worst time. I was like, this is too much. Why you gotta make this character go through all this? Like I didn't like that. Like personally, nothing with the story, just him being tortured that much. I was like, I'm not into this. I'm not into this at all. I don't like my favorite characters to go through so much pain. But that's my personal, opinion. For no
It
reason.
didn't take me out. It didn't take me out, but I guess if I could rank them, I'm with you. Like, I guess the least that I was more emotionally into was that when we cut to 11. Well, at least towards the end, it got better when they started fighting. But yeah, I would rather spend more time with either them in Russia or like with the back in Hawkins. Yeah, that was probably my favorite one, being in Hawkins with those kids.
I think my least favorite storyline for a little bit was actually the Russia thing, because there was a point where I was thinking, okay, this better not be like that easy to where we get him out, and also like you said, every time we cut back to Russia, it's just him being tortured, basically. And I'm like, okay, I get it. He's getting knocked. He's getting knocked his teeth out. But then
it caught.
And then he escapes, and then it's for nothing because he gets caught again.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. And then he gets out and he goes to the church and stuff. And that's where I was like, okay, it's a little easy. But then it caught my interest when they caught him. I was like, oh, oh no, it's not that easy. Things started turning sideways. Like Yuri betrayed them and stuff, and I was like, okay, it caught me back. And then But everybody else, I was to that point. I was pretty invested in, and then I guess I started siding with you guys because when it gets to 11's part, the whole every time it would cut back, I'd be expecting something like some sort of new development, and if it was very minuscule. Like she turned on the light, but she can't move it, you know. And I'm like, man, we're really like not moving that much, you know. Like we're not making progress. So and then I changed, like Jeff said, it changes at the end when we figure out what we do, and she, they do all the action and stuff. But for me, that's kind of what it was. And then the bullies at the beginning, so it's kind of a peeve for me when characters make decisions that I'm like, I'm not sure that would really be really be somebody's mindset, like there's a part where the girl bully at the beginning, she comes up to 11 and she's like, let's go like skating and stuff, and the Mike, is it Mike, a boyfriend, he's like oblivious. like you could, for me, I'm like, this girl's a bitch.
No, but Mike doesn't know. He actually thinks they're friends, so he's like, okay, yeah. I guess she's gonna go skate with her.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like the way the girl was acting, I was like, okay, there's obviously like ill intent here. Like you can see it on her
they're
face.
kids. He wouldn't know, I guess.
Yeah, and then also when she leaves, like to go skate, he's just like, okay, and then like looks down, doesn't watch her the whole time. There's that, and then I guess it's the whole like the bully thing, like you said, Dario. Like there's a lot of bullying going on, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Like they suck. They're bad people.
They can never get bullying right in media. It's always a little cringe. Like
yeah. Like it's sometimes I'm like, this is a little 2D. Like when bullying actually happened in like school, at least to me, they weren't like they weren't like carbon copies of bullies. They weren't like, oh look, it's
or
that
you start
person
laughing
who
and pointing.
Yeah, laughing and pointing, and like they're obviously evil.
Yeah.
Like, nah, that wouldn't really fly. They would get made fun of if they act like that.
You know what I hate the most though about bullying is when they do it in front of adults and they don't do anything. Like when she's getting bullied, when she's like starts to cry like doing the presentation, and the teacher is like right there, and when the girl bully like raises her hand and start asking questions and obviously making her upset and just bullying her right there in front of the teacher, why doesn't the teacher like just say, hey girl, shut up, she's doing her presentation, like questions at the end? But no, she asks a question and she's like, no, it's not really time for questions. And then she's like, oh, I know, but it's just like that wasn't the assignment, and like, who cares about her dad? Like, you know what I think? And obviously she's getting upset and starting to cry, and she keeps talking. I'm like, teacher, just make her shut up. Like, it's a presentation.
Just be a teacher.
Yeah. And then she just kind of agrees with her, like, yeah, I guess technically that wasn't the assignment, but let's just let her do it. And then I guess I see the parallel they're trying to do. Like, she gets bullied. She doesn't tell on she didn't tell on the girl bully, right? She was like, like, I just tripped, but then the teacher anyways figures it out, and then she's mad at her because apparently she was a snitch even though she didn't tell.
Yeah.
And then she bullies her some
twice,
more.
I think.
And then it turns out that actually happened to her before when she got bullied in the lab. And they were like, don't tell Papa.
Yeah.
And then she didn't tell Papa, but they thought that she did, so they wanted to bully her more. So it's like the same thing happened. The very same thing happened at school and at the lab. And again, it was just too mean. I feel like it was too mean.
Yeah, it was that, and it was like a little, like, kind of how they acted in movies in the 80s where the bullies were like, hey, give me your lunch money, bro.
I just thought of an inconsistency there though. Like, she's lying to Mike, telling him like, oh, my life is perfect here and I have all these friends and I go to all these parties. But I just remember that last season she made this whole deal about friends don't lie to each other, and they even brought it up there, like Like, are you lying? Friends don't lie, right? That was her whole thing. Like, friends, I thought friends don't lie, and yet she's right there. Like, she tells that to Will. Like when she does the presentation, and he's like, "Oh, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad." And she looks at him like, "Are you sure? Like, are you friends don't lie?"
Yeah.
So obviously she's not okay with lying, but then she's like over here just telling Mike all these lies.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
I don't know. It doesn't.
I guess it's supposed to show that, she's breaking under the pressure of like being a teenager and like trying to make your boyfriend think that your life is perfect.
Right, but why lie though? Like, if she's
Also,
teenagers.
Sure. You mean 20-year-olds?
Yeah. I mean, they're not.
Technically, they're teenagers.
I mean,
No,
they are 18, playing 15 or something like that.
And then like for a little bit, I was thinking Will is a little like he's just there, he has like done literally nothing to contribute, and I was thinking that not the same like for Lucas. He every time it would cut to him and his boys, things would happen, and he'd make a decision that would obviously go against what they want to do, and that's a good way to keep people invested. It's like, oh, Lucas is turning into a douchebag, but then like he turns heel, and the thing is, I was like, is he just for a little bit? I was like, is he just gonna be like this the whole time? But then he comes to join his friends and stuff. Also, that scene. Oh wait, no spoilers, but there's a scene that. Oh, are we in spoilers?
I thought we were already in spoilers.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
Well, no.
There's a scene where the main, what's his name? I call him Chad. Chad. He's in the hall. I don't really. I forgot his name.
I think it's John. I don't know.
I actually don't remember.
Well, Chad here. He's in the middle of the hall, and like when they have this big meeting about what are they gonna do about the guy Eddie killing people, and he does this like whole announcement, and for me, I'm like, I don't know if that would really fly. Like I feel like the cops would just pull him out of there.
Right. Yeah, it is weird. Like, why do they let him do the whole speech? I mean, it was set up that he's the type of guy to get up in front of a crowd and speak, like at the pep rally.
Yeah, literally.
So it was set up. When that happened, I was like, who the heck is this guy? Why is he like Mr. Perfect in front of everybody making this great speech? I was like, who is this guy? Get out of here.
Freaking Chad. Get out of here, Chad.
That, and then I think my only one other. Dang, what was it? I had another one. It was the monologue at the end. The
Villains.
Ooh,
monologue.
yeah. You got me monologuing.
Yeah, literally, like he explained an entire backstory, and I was like the thing is, it went on, right, and the thing is, what they're showing us like visually is interesting enough to keep us invested, but the thing is, I got pulled out a little bit because I'm like, he's still talking.
Yeah, it was too long. Like at the
That's what it
beginning,
was.
I'm like, this is cool. Like he's now explaining, and then we're seeing like through Nancy what's going on. So I thought that was a really cool way to do it. Like we said, it's well made. Like this show is well made. Like the director is well made. But then at some point, like you said, it felt too long. Like he's still going. They're just explaining everything. I don't like that exposition.
And also, I already kind of put two and two together. I feel like they could have done that scene without him explaining.
No way. Did you actually know he was the kid?
No,
No.
listen.
They
Like
got me.
if you take the dialogue out of that scene and you just watch it like with Nancy going through, and they're showing the guy, like they're showing the kid, and then without him monologuing, you just see the kid like doing all this stuff, and you're like, oh, that's him,
But don't you need that? Because we were also trying to find out what happened with 11. Us learning that she wasn't the one that killed all those people, that it was him.
Well, at that point, it's obvious because she walks in the room and they're already dead.
But how do you make that connection that he's
right?
the
And
kid?
he's there.
Because to me, that's what linked it. That he's the kid. It was when he
Because
was talking.
Nancy's the one going through an experience and seeing literally what Vecna.
But you wouldn't
is
know
showing
that was
her.
number one. You wouldn't know that was number one. You would know that that's Vecna, yes, but not that that's number one.
Well, the kid looks like one. Like he looks like him, like with his eyes and stuff like that. Like for me, I was like, that was enough.
It was too much like connection. Like he didn't need to be one and the little kid and Vecna. Like
I love that. I freaking love
really, I thought it was a little. It was a
Yes.
little too much. Like
Nah,
he's
dude.
literally one. He's also the little kid from that flashback once we saw it, from the first guy to get hit, and then he's also Vecna, and then
They
also
earned
on top of that, also he created the Upside Down.
Yeah, they
And
earned it, bro. They,
one-
s- they
Wait, hold
set
on,
it up
did he?
from the.
Is that what
They,
happened?
I think you
Hold
can
on.
technically, kinda.
No, because she pushed him through the portal, and then it was like the Upside Down was already there.
It seemed
Right?
like okay. So here's why I think that's when the Upside Down was created, because when Nancy went, like she said, we're in the past. Like when we found, like 3 years ago, when we found when Will disappeared, right? So that was the beginning of the show, and so it's everything stuck on that time, that day when she opened that portal, and that's when the Upside Down was created.
Yep.
That's when she was like, "Oh yeah, the guns haven't been created yet." Like,
Right.
That's
Because
why
that
the
was
shoes
when
are-
she opened that portal, and also when he's traveling through the whole thing, it's like there's the floor is on the bottom and on the top, so there's like no sky, and so it kind of
So-
felt.
well, no.
I mean, it was kind of
Actually,
weird.
I
but-
think it is. Actually, I think it's the opposite. I think it's sky and sky, and because he's flying through and getting hit by lightning. And
Oh,
stuff.
that makes sense. I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's
but-
when the Upside Down was created.
So if in saying that, how does that link to like aren't they connected to the Upside Down, the kids with powers and stuff?
No, just 11. I mean, she's the only one that survived, but basically she's so powerful that she made the Upside Down, which is kind of crazy. So it was a reveal with like
I didn't
four
get that.
layers.
Maybe I gotta research a little more. But I didn't get
yeah.
that notion.
You didn't
But
get
also,
started with
like
him.
that, because Dustin says like it's possible it could be open for like thousands of years.
right.
You
That's
know?
what they think. But Dustin
Mhm.
Dustin has been like 100% correct. Maybe this is the one thing he's wrong about, because they keep also harping on the fact that he's always right, and they're actually making a joke out of it. Like, yeah, you're always right, but it's your tone. It's his tone, right? Like, that's what they say.
yeah.
Like, he's smug, right?
Mhm.
So
No, hey,
maybe
he
he's
hasn't
about
been
to,
wrong. He hasn't, you know.
the dude is a genius.
To go back to what you're saying about the connections, I think they earned it because you start the first episode with that, and then you have these almost 2 hour long episodes where they're giving you all this. So to then connect it at the end, I think I was like perfect. Like I like that. It didn't have to connect, but why not? It made it fun for me.
I
Then it
don't
connected.
mind the three-way connection. It's just the way it was presented to me. Like I guess I figured it out pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Oh.
we all have like different opinions. Jeff loves it.
Hmm.
George is like, I guess it's okay, and I'm like, it's too much. Like we're like perfectly. We all have a different
We can
opinion.
never
on it.
agree. We can never agree on it. Like
Hey,
all three of us can never agree on
That's
it.
why you tune in into this podcast, right? To hear different opinions.
If there's no more anything else that you want to point out that's negative,
You know what? I hate this show. Forget it. Everything sucks. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, let's do positive. You have any positives?
Can I start before I forget? Okay, so what's that YouTube channel that you like watching, Filmento?
Yes.
So I was literally just watching his video on Morbius, and I promise it's gonna connect. I promise it's gonna connect. But one of the critics that he was saying, one of the negatives he was saying about Morbius is that the reason why it sucks so much is because there's literally no obstacles, and Morbius can just do anything when he wants. Like, he needed a new lab. All he had to do was go to that place with the bad guys, break the guy's hand and that's it. Like there was no challenges. That's what I noticed in this show. There's so many, and I love this, challenges and obstacles and things that they have to get through. And also another thing that Phil Mento mentioned for the movie is it's good when they create that tension, bro. Like we gotta get this done because Sinclair is coming with his friends are chasing us, and there's always that urgency.
Yeah.
And I felt it almost every episode, especially the one when we thought that Max was gonna die. So I love that. I love the urgency in every episode. We gotta get this done before this. I remember Phil Mento also mentioning that with Days of Future Past. There's a to B, you have to get to here, but you gotta get it done before this. You know, there's an obstacle that if you don't get it done before this, the whole thing fails. So
yeah, and,
I like that. I noticed that a lot in this show, and that's what makes it like, oh, come on, you guys better hurry before this or that.
The way
I like that there's obstacles.
The way that good shows and movies do that is because they give you a time window. Like, there's another video he does on goal, stakes, and urgency, which is like the 3 things that movies should have. But basically, there's like, to give you an example, there's a scene where maybe somebody says, we have to, like, we only have 2 hours to do this, right? So in the audience head, you're like, okay, they only have 2 hours. Okay, so they go ahead and do it, but then, boom, something gets in front of them, and it's like, crap, now they're cutting down time. You know, it builds urgency throughout, and that happens a lot. I agree, that happens a lot in this show where it's just like, get to point B, you know?
Yeah, that, and before I forget, the character of Eddie, I love that guy.
Bro, discount Johnny Depp over here? Absolutely, I love him.
Johnny Depp?
Yeah, discount Johnny. I'm saying that because
really?
Fun fact about me and my personal life. My mom went to school with Johnny Depp, and she. I like how both of your eyebrows went up when I said that.
We didn't know that.
Like both of you went.
And you just now telling us that?
I tell people all the time, but they just forget. Because it doesn't really have any significance in my life. It's not like I could have been a pirate or something.
Hey, you could meet Johnny Depp if you wanted to.
I could have been a pirate, bro. Honestly.
But no, the thing is like my mom would mention he would wear stuff like that, like all these rings and these, rock star shirts and jackets, and that's how they would act, like rock stars in the back in the day. Except this guy's a D&D player, but
yeah.
But no, like long hair, makeup, hangs out with weird people. For me, I'm like, yeah, that's him.
I actually went to school when I moved to Sebring that dressed just like that. Yeah, long hair, the jacket. I swear it's the same guy, but yeah, dude, I love how the character is like, you would think he killed like a person, like he's a weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like on paper, yeah, but I never. I guess
that's stereotypical.
The way he acts, it's cool, and like he's weird. He's a weird guy.
Sure. No, I get like they set up like why people would think that because he's a freak. And he's like not ashamed of it.
Yeah, but to finish the point, I like how they're also playing with the fact that in those times, I was just watching a video about this a while back. How in those days, like that's when the theories started rising from like comics and games and video games that would rot in people's brains, and so that's where around that time the Christian church like started coming up with the whole satanic things, like burn the CDs and movies and all this stuff. So I like how they're playing with that in the show. Like,
yes,
they like people think Hawkins. Oh, our kids are under satanic like influence.
Yeah, and they link it with like the bad stuff that's been happening, throughout Hawkins. And so they have like a weak foundation, but a foundation. And I like that because for years, like when I was little, my mom would argue with me about video games and stuff,
Pokemon.
And what it's doing to my brain. And I'm like, well, first of all, Mom, I don't have Grand Theft Auto in my library here. And second of like, I would literally debate with her on why that's not true at all. So I like that they touch on that. I feel relatable there. It's pretty good.
But when you were talking about obstacles and like they face a lot of obstacles, made me think of Vecna. He doesn't have that much obstacles. I felt like they made him. Again, we haven't seen the ending, so it's kind of hard to judge. But like he's literally in the upside down, and he can literally track anyone and just kill them. Like take over their body, make them hallucinate, and then just literally.
There's the music.
Right, which I felt like
the power of music.
I get the link to like bring people back, but if they're in the upside down,
that's a Hail Mary. That's a real Hail Mary. Like
yeah, and that's because
music.
he's low. Yeah, and that was the music, and that was like she barely made it out. But I'm saying like he can literally just get in your head and kill you. Like, why does he have to take so long? Because he likes stunting, but like if he really wanted, he can just go into your head and kill you.
Maybe he needs to power up, like like.
I feel like.
Is that how people power up, Jeff? Do you power
I
up
don't
like
know,
that?
like,
Maybe he needs to recharge. Hopefully that'll be his weakness.
Well, because the thing is, we don't see him like always doing it. There's a scene where he's out. I don't know what he's doing. He's probably doing groceries or something. But he comes back. He comes back to the attic where he's at, right? And then he links up again, and then he looks for people, specifically people who like have trouble in their life.
Man, I mean, yeah, you're right. Maybe he does need to be there, so maybe that's how they'll get him. Like maybe they can cut the branches, and as long as he's not connected, to whatever he has to be connected to, maybe he can't kill people. So that's true.
Yeah,
maybe
and
that's more to kill him.
There's that, and then I think it's also the matter of like choosing, like no show is perfect, so you got to choose where you want to bring your strengths at, which most of the strength is with the characters we're invested in, like with people in Hawkins, and then in doing that, in investing us, we're sacrificing time with the villain, and also they're trying to like, I guess, keep him vague until the reveal that he's won. So it's like, I guess choosing your investments pretty much, because I noticed that too. Like there's a whole lot more with everybody else than with Vecna, and yeah.
And honestly, I was digging, and talking about, if we're talking about positives, I think Vecna, I thought it was really cool at the beginning when he was in the shadows, and then when we first see him, I think his design is actually pretty cool, like the way
like
he
his
looks.
silhouette.
Yeah. No, not just his silhouette. Like when they actually show his face.
His face.
Yeah. Which I kind of like it and I don't. I mean, I like a monster in the shadows type thing. But then after he comes out of the shadows, he's like full on. They're not hiding anything. They're just showing you what he looks like, which takes the mystery away. But he does look scary.
Yeah, it looks like a Swamp Thing, like a mixture of Swamp Thing and Freddy Krueger. For those who don't know, Swamp Thing is a DC creature who's literally what I describe, a Swamp Thing. Yeah, Swamp Thing. Actually, Dario, Swamp Thing is in Injustice. You'll see him later.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But no, design wise, yeah, I think he's dope. He's like, I like him, and I like the creature they fought in the last season at the end in the mall. That was pretty dope. Yeah, I like the artistry, like the artist gallery, the concept art. I'm pretty sure they're sitting there like with their colored pencils going like this. Like, what's the weirdest thing we can make right now?
I wonder if they're gonna do something different, because the show is obviously leading to a final showdown again with Eleven and him. They met when they were a kid and she won. So I wonder if obviously they're gonna lead to a final showdown, but I wonder how they're gonna do the fight scene.
That's something I want to point out too. The so their flagship, this whole show's flagship is the mascot. Really is 11, right? Like that's what people think of when they think of this show, mostly. And the thing is, now that she doesn't have powers, they have to make it, or they have to replace that with some sort of interest, especially after the third season. Because the third season, I feel like, is where we mostly see her like tossing people around and stuff like that. There's a lot of action with her. So the way they handle that is really interesting because they're like, okay, we don't have this aspect until later, so now we need to do something interesting with the side characters, which is all like what is it like Nancy I don't know, I already forgot everybody's name.
There's a lot of people.
All these people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. So they do that. They bunch everybody up. They have their own storylines, and each story is interesting enough for us to not be like, you know, okay, like anybody who's in this for the general like action stuff, like it's interesting enough to be like, okay, I'm not worried about if Eleven's gonna get her powers back or anything like that. Like I'm invested enough in these people and what their story is. Like they're literally saying like, okay, we got to find Vecna and kill him, and I'm over here like, how are you gonna kill this guy? But still, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm down with your goal. Let's go with it. You know.
You know how they're gonna kill him, right?
With the power of friendship.
Yeah, exactly. 11.
Well,
11 is gonna
however,
kill him.
Yeah.
Well, now, yeah, definitely. But even then, they're like they even make a joke. They're like, usually we have a girl with powers with us that can help us.
Yeah, they just pointed
And-
out like she's just the
Yeah.
key.
Yeah, and Eddie's like, yeah, I know, you told me, but but it's funny because it's like, well, we don't have that now, so we got to do it ourselves, and I like that. I like how they're handling that.
I think we'll probably see Elle sacrifice herself. Like maybe the only way to, and also this is the last time. That's it, the last season. So
No, there's
And it makes sense.
another one. There's a season
What?
5. Yep.
there's a season 5.
I didn't watch that yet.
That's
Where's that at?
confirmed.
Yep. It's confirmed.
I thought
No
this was
way.
it. I
For
thought
real?
this was the
No,
last
no.
season.
It's confirmed. There's season 5 is the final season.
Oh, wow, that changes my perspective.
Jeff's like, man,
Because
this show
okay,
sucks.
because up to now, my mindset was, oh, this feels like the perfect villain to end it all, because
yeah, me
if you
too.
finish
I didn't know.
him,
Yeah.
if you finish him, it seems like when you end him, you end the whole thing, the whole upside down thing, because it's all connected to him apparently. So my thought was, they're finally gonna close all the gates to the upside down, and in the process, Elle is gonna go down with him, and that's how it ends. But if there's a season 5, now I'm kind of irritated that there's a season 5 because you're going. The last episode is gonna be 2 hours and a half. I thought like they were gonna go all out with that. Wow, Derry, you really like changed my mood. I thought this was it. Are you sure?
Nah, dang.
I mean, some
No
people
way,
think they're
bro.
already like filming season 5. I doubt it that they are, but some people think they're already like started filming season 5, which would
Is
be
it true,
crazy.
Jeff? Are you looking it up right now?
I'm literally looking it up right now.
I'm pretty
Dang.
sure even the
I
cast
thought this.
has
I thought
said-
this was the last one too.
No,
Dang.
I saw an interview. She said like they're already talking how season 5 is the last season, so they're like asking like, "Oh, you guys gonna miss each other when you're done?" That's what I saw, but I'm pretty sure it's confirmed. They have a season 5 coming.
Yeah, it is.
What?
God dang it! You said it too, Jeff. This is like, for me, I'd be like, yeah, we're ending this like with this villain and 11. You know, we could like literally kill him and destroy the entire Upside Down. Like that's it. Like for me, I'm always thinking, how are they gonna stop like the Upside Down from happening? Because the freaking Russians, they're always like, let's open another portal, see how this goes.
Hey, but
Yeah.
you know, every single season ends like that. Like they kill the bad guy, and then your thing is done, and then like the big reveal at the end is like, no, the Upside Down is still there. Like every single season, that's what happens. Last season, they killed like that big monster, right? And then no, the Upside Down is still there, and now there's
Yeah.
always like a bigger.
Well, they shut like a door. They always shut a door, and now we're like, well, there's multiple doors. We gotta shut them all. And I'm
Okay,
like,
so I'm
dang.
reading on the Netflix Twitter, and apparently they were saying that the recent season 4 is so jam packed with new locations, new characters, and the biggest threat yet is because these episodes set up the show's final act. Season 5 will be the epic conclusion, which is how the creators have always envisioned it.
So yeah, maybe Vecna
And
is not gonna
last
die.
season, when we the last podcast, we made. I literally said I hope season 4 is the last one because they keep
Me too. I was
stretching it
hoping
out.
this is it.
And I was hoping this is it, but
Nah.
they still have one more.
Bro, this
Jeff,
feels like the last story.
Jeff, I feel
Like, what
I
else
remember
are they
your
gonna
theory. Your theory was nah, they're gonna milk this thing.
Yeah, you were saying that.
This already feels like they're making it because the kids, they're not they're adults, young adults playing kids. So what? Oh, dude. Okay, I have a theory.
Okay.
What if season 5 is a time jump, and we pick up with them the 2000s?
I don't know because the creators created this show because they love the 80s. That's when they grew up. So this
But
Stranger
it's a
Things
stretch.
is a very much.
They're not kids anymore.
I mean, but hey, they could be like. I mean, it takes place in 1986. Maybe the last season takes place in 1989. They jump like another 3 years, and it's gonna be
Or the
closer.
90s.
They're gonna be like, or the 90s, or maybe it'll be like at the end of the 1989. At the end of 1989.
The 90s. Yeah.
Going into the 90s, but I feel like the Duffer Brothers, they wanted to create an 80s show, so I doubt they would go out of the decade of the 80s. That's my thought.
Maybe it's a Y2K thing in 1999.
Oh.
You know
the
Y2K? When everybody in 99 thought that the world was going to end in 2000.
Yeah, electronic.
I highly doubt that they're gonna go out of the 80s.
So, okay, so I don't hate it. I don't hate the show with this new info, but it kind of changes my perspective. Because I thought this was it. This feels like the last villain.
It kind of feels like none of the main characters are gonna die because, like I told you guys, Millie Bobby Brown in an interview recently said, she was like, she actually kind of sounded kind of mad. She's like, they need to start killing people off. Like, she literally said, we need to start killing people off. Like, we have so many characters. She was like, we took a picture and we could hardly get everybody in the picture, like, in the premiere. They're like a mini group, like such a big group of people.
She's trying to clean house.
And they keep adding.
She's like, I'm sick of all these people.
Adding
Kill them.
characters. Like, literally, they keep adding people, too. Like, this season, they added, like, 3 new more characters.
Yeah, you know what? It would be annoying, but they're actually handling them pretty well. Like what you're supposed to feel for these characters are prominent. Yeah, basically. But I also agree.
Not realistic, though. Like, all these kids almost lose their lives, and then none of the main characters die. Like, they bring a character for one episode, and they kill that character off. But, like, our main characters
Oh my
never,
gosh.
ever die.
That's the worst death in this series. Chrissy, like, you're made to love Chrissy, right? You're established to be like, she's poor girl. She's innocent. She doesn't know what she want to do with life, and she wants drugs, which is great. But then she gets folded, literally, and then you're like, oh my gosh, poor Chrissy.
Yeah, the way that all these people have been taken out, dude.
Yeah, literally, fold marathon.
The fact that she said that makes me feel like no one dies at the end of this series.
Well, now if there's a season 5, then yeah.
But I feel like they need, like, how is that believable? Oh, so to just finish it off now, since we're talking about the ending, because we should finish. It kind of seems like Steve got bit by those things. Do you guys think, just as a thought, as a theory, you guys think they're actually killing him off? Because it seemed like he was bit by those things. Huh?
I mean, I like him, but I wouldn't even mind if they killed him. Like,
people are gonna hate you. People love that character, man, especially
It's
the
all
girls.
good. But
He
he
can probably go.
He can go.
I was gonna say maybe just because I don't want Nancy to be hoeing around. Stop that. Go back with your boyfriend. Quit that.
I mean, he's gonna break up with her anyway.
Is he? Is that what's going on?
Well, that's what he said.
I'm confused in that.
That's why
I say Max is not off the hook yet.
I feel like she is. They keep like she's like worried and she keeps listening to music, but I feel like he missed. That's it. He's not gonna go for her again.
I think that Walkman is gonna run out of batteries
Literally, maybe. I
gonna-
mean, listen, everybody's up for grabs. He can literally kill whoever he wants.
No, but it's people with a past, with things that something in the past
Which
happened.
makes me question, like,
And
what
they
did
have-
she do? What's in her past?
Their brother.
But what did she do to it? Like, to him? She didn't kill him.
Well, according to him, deep inside, she was relieved, and
Well,
that's
he
why
was
she
a
feels
jerk,
regret.
though. He was a jerk and a bully.
But it's regret. That's what gets people. It's the regret, and that's how he locates people.
Guilt. It's the guilt.
Guilt,
Like
guilt,
she,
guilt.
She thinks it's,
Deep guilt.
It's his fault.
Deep guilt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he literally died in front of her.
yeah.
Right,
and then
because she didn't
blames
do
herself.
anything. What was she supposed to do? Is like,
There,
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
it. You're being too.
But listen,
too
you
nitpicky.
can't tell somebody that because because they're gonna think it anyways.
I mean, Chrissy, we don't know what she did, but apparently she did something bad. And then the other kid, there was a car accident and people were burning inside. And I guess maybe he caused the accident by accident. He caused a car crash. That's kind of what they alluded to.
I thought I was.
But what
missing
did she
something there.
do? Like, she was there. She couldn't have done anything. She was there and she felt a little relief. I feel like that's not enough. Like, she didn't do
She
anything.
could have
No,
done more. She
she
could have done
it-
more.
Sure, but that doesn't mean she did something wrong. The lack
Well,
of
it's that.
It's that, and then also like her dad sucked. And then she has family issues up and down in her head. From what I remember,
needs a
in
hug.
last season. No, because then she'll stab you.
But the
Apparently, that's what I feel
stepdad
like.
was jerk. The brother, stepbrother, by the way,
Stepbrother.
was
Jerk.
a jerk, and so
Yeah.
and she didn't do anything for him to die. I guess I may be overthinking it, but like, that's just it seems like an excuse to try to
No,
kill.
I get what you're coming from.
I
get
feel
what
you.
you're
Yeah,
coming from.
I feel you. I guess everybody deals with it differently, and like it's this resentment, this built up trauma and resentment that she has. Because for me, I'd be like, y'all suck, I'm good, But for her, it's like, I hate the world.
Plus, he
Everybody around me.
said that she felt relief. She was like, "No, I didn't. I miss you." Like, she seemed like she really missed him, and she's sorry.
Maybe she was
Which
lying
is-
a little bit. Maybe she's a little liar.
Maybe
She's a liar. Maybe
Pretty
she's a
little
redhead.
liar.
They don't have
This is
souls.
pretty little liar.
She's
Wait, Jeff, what'd you just say?
gingers don't have souls. Maybe she's lying.
Oh yeah, that makes. Wait, if she didn't have a soul, then why is she taken by Vecna? She has.
You guys
She's
didn't answer
dead.
my question. Does Steve
What?
die?
Oh, I think there's a chance. I won't be surprised. I'm gonna be surprised and upset if they take my boy Dustin.
No,
They better not
Oh my
touch
gosh.
Dustin,
no.
bro.
He's saved. He's safe.
Dustin is the goat.
He's
Safe?
he's
He's safe?
safe. Bro, he's here to season 11.
Yeah.
He's
I hope.
safe.
So
People who are
10.
safe, him.
Fast and
Leave
Furious 10, bro.
Dustin and Max alone. I like them. Lucas too. I like Lucas. Mike, maybe Mike might go too.
No.
Kill Mike.
I think
Listen,
Mike is
Make
a
it happen.
goner.
The main kids carry
Kill
the show.
no. Kill 11. Kill 11.
No,
You don't got the
no.
balls. Kill 11. Do it.
They don't do it. They don't do it. I already know they don't do it because, like I said, she's been saying we need to kill people off. It means that she's not killed. Because she was like, yeah, kill 11. She was like, they were joking, but she was like, yeah, kill 11 if you have to. Like, she's down for people dying. So obviously makes me think they didn't kill anyone off.
That's also your fault, Dario, for watching that interview.
It is Tim.
Bro, can
TMI.
we acknowledge Susie the goat? Susie came through again.
Who's Susie again?
Susie,
Dustin's
girlfriend.
girlfriend.
Oh,
Dustin's
yeah.
girl. Bro, that's
I
the
like-
second time she comes through.
Yeah, I like the whole reveal with her family and stuff. That
Yeah.
was funny, and like
What
she's
was
just
that?
her own
What?
in her own world.
What was the kid's name that kept turning off the power? Cornelius.
Cornelius.
Yo, Cornelius needs to chill, bro.
Yo, what's
Bro,
going on in
what
that
happened?
house? That's what I
I
want to
don't
know.
know.
What's
That
going
was
on?
That's
great.
That was so funny. He's like just chill. They're super religious, and he's like okay. And then they open the door and it's chaos, and it's just her and her dad that are like the religious ones.
I
Yeah,
love when
that's
she was
funny.
giving the explanation. I was dating an agnostic. an agnostic.
And agnostic.
I also like that joke about the internet. Like,
Oh yeah.
Like, what's the internet? And
It's only gonna change the world one day.
It's just gonna change the world, you know. And she's like in it, like she's like really like, you know, how does that call when you're early to the trend?
An early adapter.
Yeah, she knows about it.
Susie was selling crypto, bro.
Back in 86.
She was making NFTs.
10 years, 10 years before I was born. She's over here.
I love that character too.
Anyway, good show overall. I guess we spent too much time on
So
it.
far.
So far.
Oh,
There's still 2 movies that I'm about to drop.
yeah. One more tidbit. Y'all didn't say anything about the Russian thing. What do you feel about them? Like their whole story.
The whole
that
section.
Like for me, what was it? It got me when like I thought Hopper was gone when they brought him out before they brought him out to the food. I was like, crap, they're not gonna get there in time. He's got to fight the Demogorgon. I honestly thought he was gonna go in with fists swinging, just like whatever. Let's do it. And then, yeah, I would like to generalize like overall the action in this show has like every time there's an action scene, I'm like, yo, like it's really good. Especially that shootout in the kid's house.
That was intense.
Yeah. That's a one shot.
Yeah.
That was one shot, and I was like, "Ooh!"
Bro,
And
that's how
really
you make
intense.
it. That's how you make it. That was one of the best parts, honestly.
Yeah,
They shock you. Like you really
Art.
think that's the pizza guy. And when
Yeah.
he opens that door, pew.
We're all like, oh.
And the way they shot it is like hectic and it's like handheld and the camera's found. It was really cool actually.
And also like you feel enclosed, like you feel trapped with him because he's going around this one column trying to protect all these kids, and he's shooting. He headshots only.
Left
That
and right.
guy, MVP, you know, of the show.
MVP. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like this guy
Yep.
did it. He got them out. Like
Yep.
nice job.
Absolutely, he's dope. Agent, what did they call that guy? Agent Man or something. They had a whole name for him.
I forget. I forgot.
He MVP, and then what's that other one? Oh, the Demogorgon fight. Barely was a fight. It was a massacre. It was he
Oh yeah.
he jumps out and then he starts killing off everybody. I'm like, oh no. yeah.
Like
They got
one of them
eaten.
to come out with them. You know, it would have been good if it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Hopper, that guard trader guy, and then someone else. Like literally, like all of the
Yeah.
other guys die.
Yeah,
it's
literally.
sad. But yeah, you were asking about the Russia section of it and what we thought. I thought it was entertaining enough. I just hated the torture. Like I said, like I was like, okay, he's getting tortured. That's good. But then it was so much. I was like, poor Hopper. He doesn't deserve this. I'm sorry.
Right.
Plus, how did he survive? They don't explain that very well.
Yeah. Also that. Also, it
think
was
Mary-
confusing.
How like I don't know. I'm actually confused. Like, did they break his legs and stuff?
Yeah,
Because
the whole thing doesn't really
Afterwards,
make sense.
Yeah, well, yeah, they do that, and then afterwards he's like running, like he's hopping over stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, like
I think it
don't
just
know
has
what they
layers.
broke.
What do you call it? You know, like a cast. That's why
Yeah.
he's able to still, you know, he wrapped his leg with layers or something like. That's how he's able to.
Bro, I thought he was breaking his leg to be able to get the chain out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
that's what I
And
thought
plus,
too.
he
Yeah.
had
He kind
like
of
that-
dislocated it in a way. where-
Right. But then after that, he just like walking around. He's running.
Yeah, he's like
He's
moving.
fine. Yeah, I think
Weird.
they were just like. He's
I think
gonna
it's
be
numb.
fine.
I think it's
Yeah.
numb.
Is what?
It's probably numb. Like you can't feel nothing.
Let's test
Yeah.
it. Let's test
Jeff.
it. Let's break your leg, Jeff. And
Right.
we'll
Watch,
see.
no, it'll get amputated. Watch, at the end.
Really?
Yeah. he's
No,
probably
they-
losing it.
Bro, they left that storyline.
Bro, yeah, they were
forgot
like-
his leg's
yeah.
broken.
It does, but no, you say it's numb, but it's been days. Like after he does that, they capture him again, and then it's been a while. It's been like a day at least, and like he should be feeling pain. He shouldn't be able to like walk on that leg. Remember when the guy said like he was like hit the chain, right? Hit the chain to the other guy, and he's like, "I'll break your leg," He's like, do it anyway, and he does it. And like we said, he gets the chain out. He's like dislocating his leg. He should not be able to walk on that leg. But it's a show. I feel like they just decided he's fine.
He's fine. He's fine. He can literally sprint. Like
literally. Yeah. He's been running.
That fight scene with him and the guard, I was sweating because I was like, well, all he has to do is like somehow kill this guy and then he's good. But then he shoots in the air, which I was afraid of, and then everybody like runs after him before he gets caught at the church. I thought that was a really good fight scene. And there's this one I keep forgetting about. No, but the action in the show has been impressing me so far.
All right, guys, I think we made it to the end of the show. Those are our thoughts on Stranger Things. Bye. Okay, and cut.